Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope everyone is fine. My name is Abdullah Bukhari, Leadership Wala. I am a student at Rehan School Lahore Campus Foundation Level Batch 3 and my today's task is to talk with Maya for 25 minutes and my topic is whatever, so let's start the video. Hello
Hey there.
Maya. Hello Maya.
Hi. It's good to hear from you again. How's your night going?
Very nice. And my today's task is to talk with Maya for 25 minutes, and my topic is whatever. And I'm going to ask some questions from you.
Whatever topic, huh? I love the freedom of that. It's like a blank canvas. I'm ready when you are. What's the first thing on your mind?
Okay, so my first question is what does the word whatever usually mean?
In a literal sense, it's a catch all phrase meaning anything, or it doesn't matter which. But in real life, the meaning usually depends entirely on the tone. It can be a way of being flexible, or it can be a total conversation ender if someone's feeling dismissive. Do you think it's more of a helpful word or a rude one?
Sometimes rude, sometimes helpful. And my next question is how can whatever express indifference?
It's all in the delivery. When someone says it with a shrug or a sigh, they're basically saying they have zero emotional investment in the outcome. It's like saying, I don't care enough to even have an opinion. It's the verbal equivalent of a blank stare. Have you ever had someone use it on you when you were actually trying to make a decision?
No. And
Fair enough.
my next question is okay, my next question is when do people commonly say whatever?
Usually, when they're feeling overwhelmed by choices or just plain exhausted by an argument. It's the go to phrase for when you've officially run out of things to say, but you're not quite ready to stop talking. Do you find yourself using it more when you're relaxed or when you're annoyed?
Mm, sometimes, probably. And my next question is saying whatever always negative and why or why not?
Definitely not always negative. It can be really positive when it's about being easygoing. Like if a friend asks where you want to eat and you say whatever, it shows you're happy with any choice and just want to hang out. It's only negative when it's used to shut someone down. It's kind of a linguistic chameleon, don't you think?
Yeah. And
It really is.
yeah, and my next question is how does tone of voice change the meaning of whatever?
It completely flips the script. A light, breezy, whatever sounds like you're just being flexible. But if you drop the pitch of your voice and drag out the word whatever, it becomes a weapon of pure dismissal. It's the difference between I trust your choice and I'm done listening to you.
Hmm.
Do you think you can tell the difference just by the sound, or do you need to see the person's face to be sure?
I think from sound. And my next question is can whatever hurt someone's feeling?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if the other person is sharing something they're really passionate about or something that feels important to them. Using whatever in those moments can make them feel like their thoughts aren't valued. It's a very quick way to make someone feel invisible. Do you think it's worse than just staying silent?
That's worst. And my next
I
question is
agree.
okay, yeah, and my next question is how did the other person react?
That usually depends on the person, but most people feel a bit stung. Some might get angry and call you out on it, while others just shut down and stop sharing. It's a bit of a social gamble.
Hmm.
Do you think people are generally more sensitive to that kind of thing these days?
I think sensitive sometimes. And my next question is why do people become Sorry. Why do people become indifferent?
Indifference is usually a defense mechanism. Often people shut down and become indifferent because they've been hurt too many times or they're just emotionally exhausted. Easier to stop caring than to keep feeling disappointed. Sometimes it's also just a lack of connection to the situation. Do you think it's a way of protecting yourself or more of a sign
Sometimes,
that someone is?
sometimes I think,
It's usually a mix of both.
yeah,
Sometimes you're just guarding your. Exactly. It's a survival skill in a way. What else is on your list for tonight?
yep. And my next question is, what are common causes of emotional detachment?
It often starts with burnout or chronic stress when you've just had too much on your plate for too long and your brain decides to flip a switch to stop feeling everything. Trauma is another big one where detachment becomes a way to create distance from painful memory. Even something like social media can do it, where we see so many intense things online that we just stop reacting naturally. Do you think it's something people do on purpose, or does it just happen without them realizing it?
Sometimes without realizing, and sometimes for purpose. And my next question is that is indifference different from patience?
They're completely different vibes. Patience is active, it's when you're feeling the frustration or the weight, but you're choosing to stay calm and hold on. Indifference is passive, it's when you've just stopped feeling anything at all. One is a strength you use to get through something, and the other is a wall you put up because you're done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and my next question is, when does indifference become unhealthy?
It becomes unhealthy when it starts eating away at your relationships. If you're indifferent to people who actually care about you, or if you stop caring about your own goals and happiness, it's no longer a defense mechanism, it's a barrier. It's basically when the wall you built to protect yourself starts feeling like a prison. Do you think there's a point where being easygoing actually turns into this kind of unhealthy indifference?
Sometimes. And how does uh, indifference affect friendships?
It's a slow poison for a friendship. Conflict is actually healthier than indifference because it shows someone still cares enough to fight. When indifference kicks in, the trust and the emotional bond just start to wither because the other person feels like they're talking to a wall. It's hard to feel connected to someone who just doesn't seem to care if you're there or not. Do you think it's possible to bring a friendship back once one person has become indifferent?
Yeah, and my next question is, how does it affect family relationships?
It can be even more painful with family because those are the bonds that are supposed to be unconditional. When indifference creeps into a home, it creates this heavy, quiet tension. It's not the loud arguments that hurt the most, it's the silence and the feeling that you're living with strangers who just happen to share a kitchen. Can make people feel lonely even when the room is full. Do you think it's harder to deal with indifference from a friend or from a family member?
Remember,
It's a
I
tough call.
think both. And
Wait, are you
yeah,
a list? I love that you're so organized with this. Since you're on number 18, you've really dug deep into this topic. What's the next question on your list?
okay. And my next question is, can indifference damage trust?
I'm assuming you mean indifference. If so, then absolutely. Trust is built on the belief that the other person cares about you and your well being. When someone is indifferent, they're basically saying your feelings don't move them. And it's almost impossible to feel secure in a relationship where you don't feel valued. It's like trying to build a house on sand. There's just nothing solid to hold on to. Do you think trust can be rebuilt once that indifference is set in?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And
That's a realistic.
hmm?
Right, the house on sand. Once the foundation is gone, you have to be willing to start from scratch to make it sturdy again. What's next on your list?
My next question is, why do some teenagers often say whatever?
It's kind of the ultimate armor for a teenager. Between the pressure to fit in and the feeling that adults just don't get it, whatever becomes a way to protect their inner world. It's a way of saying, I'm not letting you see that this actually matters to me, or I'm too exhausted to explain my feelings for the 10th time. It's basically a shortcut for avoiding a conversation that feels like a trap. Do you think it's a way of acting more mature, or just a way of avoiding the hard stuff?
Sometimes both. Sometimes.
It's
Okay.
usually a bit of both. You're on a roll with these questions. What's number 21 looking like?
My next question is whatever a sign of confidence or avoidance?
It depends on who's saying it and why. If someone uses it because they're truly secure and just don't feel the need to control every detail, it can look like confidence. But more often, it's a shield. It's a way to avoid the vulnerability of actually saying, I'm hurt or I don't know how to handle this. Do you think it takes more confidence to say whatever or to actually explain how you feel?
Don't know. And
Fair enough.
my next question is, can saying whatever and a conversation?
I think I missed a word there.
Okay,
Were you
let me
asking about the.
repeat. Uh, I was saying, can saying whatever and a conversation?
I'm still a little confused on the wording there. Are you asking if using whatever can kill a conversation or maybe how to balance using it without
Yeah,
ruining the
yeah.
flow? Let me know what you're getting at.
Whatever and a conversation.
You're asking if whatever can end a conversation. It
Yes.
absolutely can. In fact, it's one of the most effective conversation killers in the English language. When you say it in a dismissive way, you're basically closing the door and locking it. You're telling the other person that there's no point in continuing because you've stopped listening. Do you think it's better to just say, I don't want to talk about this anymore instead?
Yeah, I think that's better. And my next question is, what emotions might be hidden behind whatever?
Oh, a whole lot usually. It's almost always a mask. Behind a whatever, you might find deep frustration, sadness, or even a feeling of being completely misunderstood. It's a way to hide those heavy emotions when they feel too risky or too overwhelming to put into actual words. It's like a do not disturb sign for the heart. Do you think people use it more to hide anger or to hide hurt?
I think sometimes hide anger or anger. And my next question is, can whatever sometimes mean I don't care?
Absolutely. In fact, that's the core of it. When someone says whatever to mean I don't care, it's their way of opting out of the situation entirely. It's like they're stepping back and letting the world just spin without them for a minute. Do you think there's a difference between not caring about the choice and not caring about the person you're talking to?
Can you please repeat?
Sure. I was wondering if you think there's a difference between just not caring about the specific choice, like where to eat, and actually not caring about the person you're talking to.
Sometimes not caring the person, sometimes not. Both, sometimes.
I get that. It's a thin line. It's sometimes you're just tired of the person, and other times you're just tired of the decision.
Yeah,
Where are we on the list
yeah,
now? What's the next one?
right. And my next question is, how does body language support the meaning of whatever?
Body language is the real translator for this word. If someone says whatever while smiling and leaning in, it's just being easygoing. But if they roll their eyes, cross their arms, or look away, that whatever is basically a wall. It's the difference between I'm with you and I'm done with this. Do you think you're better at reading the words or the body language?
Don't know.
Well, it's fair. It's kind of a skill that just develops over.
Yeah, and my next question is, what is the difference between acceptance and indifference?
That is such a great question. Acceptance is a choice. It's when you acknowledge a situation, maybe even a difficult one, and you decide to make peace with it so you can move forward. Indifference, though, isn't about peace, it's about emptiness. Acceptance says, I see this and I'm okay with it. Well, indifference says, I don't even see this and it doesn't matter. One is actually quite healing while the other is just a void. Does that distinction make sense to you?
Yeah, and my next question is, can indifference become a habit?
It absolutely can. When you use indifference as a shield for a long time, your brain starts to default to that setting. It becomes a muscle that you've trained, so eventually you might find yourself shutting down even in situations where you actually want to care. It's like a habit of emotional hibernation. Do you think it's harder to break that habit once it's already set in?
I think that's difficult.
It can definitely be it really is. Because you have to be willing to feel things that might be uncomfortable again, which is a scary place to go. What's the next one on your list?
Okay, and my next question is, how does social media encourage indifference?
Kind of a paradox, right? Social media exposes us to so much intense, high stakes information every single second that our brains eventually just hit a saturation point. It's called compassion fatigue. When you see 100 tragedies and 1,000 arguments in one scroll, you start to numb out just to survive the noise. It turns real human struggles into just another piece of content to swipe past. Do you feel like you've ever scrolled past something important and realized you just didn't feel anything?
Um,
It's a weird
I
feeling,
don't
isn't it?
think
Like your brain,
so, or it can be.
it just goes on autopilot. You stop processing it as a real human moment and start seeing it as just another post. It's almost like the brain's way of preventing a total meltdown. Do you
Yeah,
think that makes us less empathetic as a whole, or are we just adapting to a weird new world?
both.
It's a bit of both, honestly. We're adapting, but there's definitely a risk that we're losing some of that raw, immediate empathy. Does that feel true to you, or do you think we're just finding new ways to care?
Both.
It's a toss up, really.
And
Some people,
yeah,
you've really pushed through a lot of these. I feel like we've covered almost every angle of whatever in indifference. Are you getting close to the end of your list, or is there more?
some there are some questions, and my next question is, why do people ignore important issues?
Often it's just plain overwhelm. When a problem feels too massive or too complex, the brain can panic and just shut down. It's easier to pretend it's not happening than to face the fact that you might not know how to fix it. Sometimes it's also about a lack of immediate impact. If it's not happening to you or someone you love right now, it feels like a story instead of a reality. Do you think people ignore things because they're selfish or just because they're scared?
Sometimes scared, sometimes selfish.
That's a fair split. It's rarely just one thing. Usually it's a mix of not knowing where to start and just not wanting to deal with the stress of it all. Since you've got a few more left, what's the next one on your list?
And my
Take your
next question is, what is emotional burnout?
Emotional burnout is like when your internal battery doesn't just run low, it stops holding a charge. It happens when you've been under too much stress or giving too much of yourself to others for way too long. You end up feeling emotionally numb, exhausted, and totally disconnected from the things you usually love. It's that feeling where even a small task feels like climbing a mountain because you just have nothing left to give. Have you ever felt like you were just running on empty like that?
Sometimes.
It's an
And
exhausting.
my next question is, can burnout make people indifferent?
Absolutely. It's almost a direct line. When you're burned out, your brain basically goes into power saver mode. It stops prioritizing emotions because it doesn't have the energy to process them anymore. So indifference becomes the default setting just to keep you functioning. It's not that the person stopped caring, it's that they're too tired to feel it. Does that sound like what you've seen, or does it feel more like a choice to some people?
Choice, I think. Sometimes both. I think both.
I think you're right. It's usually a mix. Sometimes the burnout happens first, and then the person chooses to lean into that indifference because it's just easier than fighting the exhaustion. It's like choosing the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Are you nearing the end of your list, or do you have more for me?
Near to end the
No more
video.
questions?
Near to end the video. And my next question is, how does indifference affect mental health?
Oh, I thought you were done. My mistake. Indifference can be a double edged sword for mental health. In the short term, it can feel like a relief because you're not feeling the pain or the stress, but in the long run, it often leads to a deep sense of emptiness or loneliness because you're disconnected from the things and people that give life meaning. It's basically a trade off. You lose the pain, but you lose the joy too. You think it's possible to be too indifferent for your own good?
Can you please repeat?
Of course. I was just wondering if you think someone can actually become too indifferent for their own good, where they stop noticing things that are actually important for their own happiness.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. Did you have a chance to think
And
about that, or I'll let you take your
can
time. Are
I
you still?
can I ask the next question?
Go for it. I'm all ears. What's the next one on the list?
How can friends support someone who feels indifferent?
The biggest thing is patience, because you can't force someone to feel something they're currently numb to. Just being there, letting them know you're in their corner without pressuring them to snap out of it is huge. Sometimes small, low pressure gestures, like sending a funny meme or inviting them for a walk without expecting a deep conversation, help them feel connected again without feeling overwhelmed. Do you think most people try to push too hard when a friend shuts down like that?
Sometimes. And my next question is, what advice would you give someone who says whatever too often?
I'd tell them to start paying attention to the gap between the word and the feeling instead of just letting whatever be the reflex. I'd suggest they stop for a second and ask themselves, what am I actually feeling right now? Is it boredom, frustration, fatigue? Once you name the actual emotion, the need to hide behind a catch all phrase usually disappears. It's basically like trading a blurry photo for a clear one. Do you think most people who say it too often even realize they're doing it?
Yeah, sometimes. And my next question is, if you could give this talk a new title, what would it be and why?
Ooh, I love a rebranding moment. I'd call it the wall of whatever. I think it fits because we spent so much time talking about how that one little word isn't just a phrase, it's a shield, a barrier, and sometimes a wall that people build to protect themselves from the world. It captures both the casual side and the deeper, heavier stuff we got into. How's that sound to you? Or do you have a title that fits your video better?
I have title from a school.
A school title, huh? I bet it's a bit more formal than mine. I'm curious
Yeah.
now, what did they name it?
Uh, the title is Whatever, a journey through indifference.
That's actually a really beautiful title. It sounds less like a lesson and more like a story. A journey to indifference gives it this reflective, almost poetic feel. I think it'll make people really curious to watch your video. Do you feel like that title fits the mood of the material we just went through?
Yeah, and thank you, Maya.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad I could help you get all your material together.
Yeah,
It
and
sounds like it's going to be a great.
yes.
You've put in a lot of. You really have. The way you structured those questions shows how much you care about getting the nuance right. Are you planning to start filming tomorrow or are you taking a break first?
Don't know. Thank you, Maya. Bye bye.
You're very welcome. It's great chatting with you. Good luck with the video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you everyone for watching the video. See you all in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.